Times bestseller, Adios America, and Coulter. By the way, she's going to be in Anaheim on Monday for a book signing, and you can go to her website, anncoulter.com, for tickets. You heard Donald Trump. He's not apologizing. You see the numbers that I put up. I got the numbers for you especially, by the way, Geraldo. 3% of the population, 13% of the population in prison, illegal immigrants.
You had another statistic up there that was very alarming, Sean. 193 homicides. 193 homicides. Donald Trump says there's 30 million undocumented immigrants. 193 murders, about the same.
You're misunderstanding that.
About the same as the number of murders in Baltimore so far this year with 600,000 people.
No. This was
1/60th the homicide rate.
No. This was about the 36,000 criminals, illegal immigrant criminals, that were in jail, that were released back to American soil. That's only about 36,000 that committed those murders. 36,000.
Out of a population of 30 million. That's my point.
No, but
my point is you slander this gigantic
I'm not
population.
slandering. I'm giving facts.
With stereotyping about their criminal.
No.
Here's from yesterday's Washington Post. Data on immigrants and crime are incomplete, but a range of studies show there is no evidence immigrants commit more crimes than native-born Americans. In fact, first-generation immigrants are predisposed to lower crime rates than native-born Americans. Washington Post yesterday.
Let me put it up again. If you look at the population, this is number 5 if you're in the control room, 3.5% illegal immigrants. Those that are federal prisoners, illegal immigrants, not in jail for being here illegally, those are crimes, 13.6%. Let me go to the
vast majority of those are felony re-entry, just like that scumdog in San Francisco.
All right, look,
felony re-entry.
I love Geraldo. He's misunderstanding. The 36,000 people that we're referring to were criminals released that were not sent back to their countries that committed these crimes as soon as they were released. 193 murders, 426 sexual assaults, 303 kidnappings. Your reaction, Ann?
Right. Well, first of all, I want it on the record, Geraldo and everyone else is now admitting there are a minimum of 30 million illegals in the country. And moving on from there, what I have found, now having written a book about it, and it is particularly about immigrant crime, not just illegal immigrant crime, is it is like the beginning of Anna Karenina. The truth about immigration is always the same. The lies are always different. You have to look at what, the different ways these lying statistics are made. But I think the overall point is none of these people have a right to be here. Geraldo says you're defaming a group of people. Look, by definition, we are talking about people who have no right to be living in America, whether they are legal or illegal immigrants. This is a government policy. We don't want their crime rate to be the same as Americans. We don't want it to be a little bit less. We want zero criminals being brought in by our government and preying on Americans. I think the true evidence is overwhelming that it is far more than Native Americans. I mean, we know that immigrants, and not just illegal immigrants, are far more likely to be on government assistance than the native-born. That's crazy. Why are we bringing in people whom we have to help? That is meant for our poor people, and that includes Hispanic poor people, and it includes black poor people. We have to care about our own. But secondly, as I've said before, only 25% of the entire California prison population is white. Well, California is only about 6% black. So what are liberals saying? That 75% of the inmates of California prisons, which has been accepting inmates from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, back when California was far majority white and black, they're still in prison. That whole Manson family, 75% of those, are you saying, are black? No, of course they're Hispanics.
Let me get a response.
Yeah, some are anchor babies.
The filibuster over, let me respond. The two cities with the highest concentration of undocumented immigrants, New York City and Los Angeles, both experiencing record low crime. Last month in New York, where there are 500,000 undocumented immigrants, was the most peaceable, least violent month in recent New York history. Los Angeles is experiencing rates of violent crime that they have not seen. They are so low since the 1950s. If these people were so prone to commit crimes, why would these cities be experiencing such relative freedom from violent crimes? Compare that to cities like Baltimore and Detroit and Cleveland and the other post-industrial cities where there is a spike in terrible crime, where you should be obsessing over violence instead of singling out this population and ginning up this false fear Donald Trump made a mistake with his language. He could have said, the borders, of course we want the borders to be secure. We need an inventory of every person in this country. We need secure boundaries, or we are not a sovereign nation. But that's not the same as lying about or misrepresenting, however innocently, because I don't think...
Right, and last word. Go ahead.
Look, you're talking about a correlation, not a causation. You're not that stupid, Geraldo. Yeah, crime goes down for a lot of reasons in New York because of Giuliani and Bloomberg policies, and it's going back up. We want our immigrants to have crime rates lower than our most criminal population. And you've got to stop talking about this as if we're talking about American, it's just we're attacking Hispanics. No, we are talking about immigrants.
When you write a book that says Adios America, you are ipso facto attacking Hispanics. You said Adios America, how the left is conspiring to make this a third world hellhole. Do you really believe that the left is conspiring to make this a third world hellhole? That it's a conspiracy?
Yes, because they're winning elections now. Obama would not have won election but for the post-1970
I remember what they said about the Irish in the 19th century, the same thing. The Democrats are bringing in the Irish because they want to be able to, you know...
Not only were they right, but we were allowed to criticize the Irish. We're not allowed to criticize Hispanics or be accused of racism. No, only African Americans can claim racism, not somebody who arrived yesterday.
You can go to Anne's website for her book signing. Geraldo, good to see you. Thank you.